Well, I've always been a petrol head, I guess. I've always sort of had nice cars through my life. Modern cars, Bentleys, Ferraris, Porsches, etc. I guess as I've gone through life and slowed down a bit, I guess my cars have gone through life and slowed down a bit. I'm very much into Americana. I mean, obviously we had the house in Florida and I've always loved everything American. So it was kind of a natural choice to me to go for an American classic car. Bel Air name's got a kind of, magical ring about it, isn't it? Everyone says, oh, Chevy Bel Air. It's probably the most well-known Chevy of the lot. When Peggy came up, obviously we jumped at it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed owning it ever since. It was found in a scrapyard in the early 90s, ready to be scrapped. A guy called Ernie Argo and his wife, I can't remember what her name was, and apparently her parents had a car of the same model, and she always dreamed of having this car. So when they found this car in the scrapyard, Ernie took it upon himself to do an extensive restoration of the car. Pretty well the best part of 5 years. Margot, that was the wife's name. Either Ernie or Margot died, one of them died. So that led to the car then being sold to the gentleman I bought it off. I called it Peggy Sue. He called it something crazy like the root beer float or something. Typical American. I think the older cars get named, yeah. We named it Peggy Sue because obviously Buddy Holly in the 50s, it kind of suited the car really. I wasn't particularly partisan to Chevrolet. I just loved the car. I like sharing it with people. It's nice to have other people appreciate the car. When you're out driving it, people drive past, they give you the thumbs up. And when you're stopping the traffic jam, they want to stop and talk about the car. Because I enjoy the fact that they're enjoying the car more than anything else. So simple as that, really. I guess it's just a throwback to the time where life was just a bit slower. And you took your time and nothing was a rush and everything was simple. And, you drive along at 50, 60 miles an hour. It just reminds you of the time when life was maybe just a little bit simpler than it is now. We've had 8 years of great ownership with her and had a lot of fun and met some really nice people and shared it with lots of people in different situations and just thoroughly enjoyed owning it. I guess we just keep us for the next generation. I don't think my wife or daughter will ever let me sell it, so not I want to anyway.
Let's look at the car. What is the full model name?
Right, so this is Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue is a 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air Sport Coupe hardtop. She's very rare. She's one of only 2 or 3 in this country. Quite rare in America now.
So it's a precious car.
It's a precious car. Value-wise, I guess now she's probably, I think when I bought her she was $25,000. Now she's probably worth pretty well double that. So
good investment.
Spend a little bit of money on making it better than it was, but otherwise it's pretty original other than the colour and the interior.
It came in that colour?
It didn't come in that colour.
Okay.
No, originally it was beige.
The 50s?
In the scrapyard, no, when it was in 1993. Beige. Well, what colour it was then? Rust, I think.
The car really has got some shiny brass grills.
The grill is typical, I suppose, of 1954 cars of that era. They all had these quite big, chunky grills. It was all to do with, when they were starting to get into the space race, it was all part of trying to make the car look a bit more jet planey, like the mascot. So a lot of it was linked to aviation. And this is the logo of Chevrolet in those days. They call this a Chevrolet bow tie.
Maybe show us the engine.
Okay, with pleasure. So this is the engine compartment. The engine, as you can see, is what they call a straight 6. It means 6 cylinders in line. This is the original engine. They call this the Blue Flame 115. 115 being the horsepower. The engine is literally as it came out of the factory.
Obviously, it's got some space over here.
Yeah, these are the horn. Scare people.
Can you keep anything in here, like a bag or something?
If you wanted to, but the trunk's so big you won't need to.
The car really has got some wheels that I've never seen before. What is this white screen on the
Right,
top.
so again, this was pretty typical of the 50s. They had these big, what they call a wide white wall tyre. This is a 15-inch wheel on this one. And again, everything was very heavily stylised.
Is this car accommodable?
They call this a small coupe hardtop. So it was designed to look like a convertible, but it wasn't.
Was it all for the style?
It was all
again?
for the styling. Yeah, everything was done for the styling. And if you look inside the car, you can see that again it looks like a convertible. So it looks like the top should go back, but it actually doesn't.
It's very attention-seeking
Very
car.
attention-seeking car, bright, shiny, more stainless steel. Yeah, but it was all done for the styling. As was the two-tone paintwork. Again, you had that obviously makes it very striking. The fact that you've got the highlights there with the white wheels and the white top just sets the car off beautifully.
Shall we jump in?
If you like.
Yes. This is very comfortable. Real sofa instead of just standard car seats.
Absolutely, yeah. The interior of the maroon is velour, and the white is leatherette.
We have two textures.
Otherwise, the dashboard is pretty well as it came out of the factory, other than the colour, of course. Always reminds me of a 1950s jukebox. Very attractive, very stylised.
Air conditioning?
No air conditioning, no, that's when you open the windows. The clock itself actually winds up, it's not electric. In fact, none of the interior of the car is electric. The windows wind up and down, and the seats go back manually. You know, compared to modern cars, it is pretty basic. The gear selector is this. This is a manual gearbox, which they call that 3 on the tree, which means there's 3 speeds. First, second, third, and reverse. Obviously, indicators. Self-cancelling, that means you've got to cancel them yourself. None of you automatic, like modern cars. And obviously this is a horn ring.
You need to have a good brain.
Yeah, exactly. And this, people are going to ask you what this is. That is called a Christmas tree. And what that is designed to do is, when you're in America, stoplights are very high up. And what that does, that reflects the stoplights back into the car so you can see when they're changing.
So that's what you look at.
That's what you look at.
Clever.
And we've got a tissue dispenser under the radio. Oh yeah, we've got tissues. You want the tissue?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's something there.
Where? Here?
Slide that out. Yeah, just pull it. Okay, tissues in there.
Wow. How handy.
Now I'm going to put some air in the back seat.
Yeah.
This is how you get in. It's very simple. Pull the door forward. Once you get, as soon as you let it go back.
Wow, this is really homey-like. It's really cozy. You know, like proper sofa doesn't feel like anything like I'm sitting in an actual car. Roll up the windows. The other way. Wow. So because I was trying to.
Yeah, it's quite tight. If I start it, go from there.
Yeah, that's much easier.
Just build your strength up.
Is it because of the material here?
No.
Nice.
Mechanism. That's one of the inventions of electric windows.
I can see that. So maybe let's check out the boot. Now let's look at the back of the car.
This is what they call the Continental kit. This was an extra in the 50s. The standard car, the back ended here. And then for the cars that did more longer distance, I had an extra spare wheel. And the other things to note on this car, which is very unusual, is these exhaust tips. They're shaped like the Chevrolet logo. Oh, look what they've got in the trunk. Simona's in there.
This is really spacious actually. There's a lot of room in the back. I think maybe you could put like 3 or 4 bodies.
Oh, absolutely. I have done frequently.
But be careful, this is very shiny. You can leave your fingerprints on it. So.
Exactly.
There's no seatbelt.
No seatbelt. Didn't have any seatbelts in 1954.
So I need to hold on or something. You know, normally when you have like the control panels in the middle.
Yeah,
But then in this one, only for the bottom half.
Yeah, no, you don't get that with it.
Is this all you have, like all the buttons and stuff?
No cup holders.
No.
No cup holders.
So how do you hold a cup of coffee? You don't. Bottled water only.
Things were a lot simpler in the 1950s, and cars were simpler, and you didn't have all the technology that you've got today. So it's a lot less complicated. You don't need a computer to service it or anything like that.
Sliding. I'm sliding.
Power steering, no seatbelts. Everybody was happy.
One of the main reasons. No seatbelts.